Yay Media Group.
Hey guys, it's Stephanie.
I'm Trey.
This is your weekly dose of BS.
Ooh, I am so excited to talk about this Brooklyn Beckham drama.
Okay, because I saw on social media screenshots of something he put out, but it was like 4 pages worth. And I was like, I just don't have the time or the eyesight because now I can't see anymore, like up close. And my glasses were downstairs and I was like, I just don't have the time.
Well, lucky for you, I do, and we do now.
Thank you. Okay, so what exactly?
Okay, I've like fully dove into this, and there are so many people are talking. Perez Hilton's kind of debunking this. Vogue has entered the chat.
Shoot.
Candace Owens is talking. It's just so interesting. So I have a few thoughts. One, this is none of our business.
But first of all, what was said?
Okay, well,
for those of us who did not
here's
take
what Brooklyn put on social media. He posted 4 different slides. The first one said, I have been silent for years and made every effort to keep these matters private. Unfortunately, my parents and their teams continue to go to the press, leaving me with no choice but to speak for myself and tell the truth about some of the lies that have been printed. I do not want to reconcile with my family. I am not being controlled. I'm standing up for myself for the first time in my life. For my entire life, my parents have controlled narratives in the press about their family. The performative social media posts and family events and inauthentic relationships. Oh, it cut off there. Well, that's what it says. And then he said, I have been silent for years and made every effort to keep these matters private. Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, here's the whole thing. Okay. All right, yeah, chop this up. For my entire life, my parents have controlled narratives in the press about our family. The performative social media posts, family events, and inauthentic relationships have been a fixture in the life I was born into. Recently, I have seen with my own eyes the lengths that they will go through to place countless lies in the media, mostly at the expense of innocent people, to preserve their own facade. But I believe the truth always comes out. Next slide. My parents have been trying endlessly to ruin my relationship since before my wedding, and it hasn't stopped. My mom canceled making Nicola's dress in the 11th hour, despite how excited she was to wear her design, forcing her to urgently find a new dress. Weeks before our big wedding day, my parents repeatedly pressured and attempted to bribe me into signing away the rights to my name, which would have affected me, my wife, and our future children. They were adamant on me signing before my wedding date because then the terms of the deal wouldn't be initiated. My holdout affected the payday and they have never treated me the same since. During the wedding planning, my mom went as far as to call me evil because Nicola and I chose to include my nanny Sandra and Nicola's Noonie at our table because they both didn't have their husbands. Both of our parents had their own tables equally adjacent to ours. The night before our wedding, members of my family told me that Nicola was not blood and not family. Since the moment I started standing up for myself with my family, I've received endless attacks from my parents, both privately and publicly, that were sent to the press on their orders. Even my brothers were sent to attack me on social media before they ultimately blocked me out of nowhere this last summer. My mom hijacked my first dance with my wife, which had been planned weeks in advance to a romantic love song. In front of our 500 wedding guests, Mark Anthony called me to the stage where in the schedule was planned to be my romantic dance with my wife, but instead, my mom was waiting to dance with me instead. She danced very inappropriately on me in front of everyone. I've never felt more uncomfortable or humiliated in my life. We wanted to renew our vows so that we could create new memories of our wedding day that brings us joy and happiness, not anxiety and embarrassment. My wife has been constantly disrespected by my family, no matter how hard we've tried to come together. My mom has repeatedly invited women from my past into our lives in ways that were clearly intended to make us both uncomfortable. Despite this, we still traveled to London for my dad's birthday and were rejected for a week as we were waiting in a hotel room trying to plan quality time with him. He refused all attempts unless it was at his big birthday with 100 guests and cameras in every corner. When he finally agreed to see me, it was under the condition that Nicola wasn't invited. It was a slap in the face. Later, my family traveled to LA and they refused to see me at all. My family values public promotion and endorsement above all else. Brand Beckham comes first. Family love is decided by how much you post on social media or how quickly you drop everything to show up and pose for a family photo op, even if it's at the expense of our personal obligations. We've gone out of our way for years to show up and support every fashion show, every party, every press event to show our perfect family. But the one time my wife asked for my mom's support to save displaced dogs during the LA fires, my mom refused. The narrative that my wife controls me is completely backwards. I have been controlled by my parents for my whole life. I grew up with overwhelming anxiety. For the first time in my life, since stepping away from my family, that anxiety has disappeared. I wake up every morning grateful for the life I choose, and have found peace and relief. My wife and I do not want a life shaped by image, press, or manipulation. All we want is peace, privacy, and happiness for all of us and our future family. Okay, I want to dissect this slide by slide, but I want your initial reactions first.
You know how I feel about the worldwide privacy tour of Prince Harry.
Right.
This makes me feel the same way.
The worldwide privacy tour where he had $100 million
if you
Netflix
want
deal.
Privacy, like, why are you getting the world? I don't know. First of all, I am not the person to talk about this stuff with because I feel like, not my personal thing, but I think within my extended family, which, you know, like, there's people, I have seen people come into other people's lives and completely destroy their relationships. And I always tend to think that if everything was one way until somebody comes in, like, the common denominator is usually that person that came in. And I've seen it firsthand, which is why whenever I see a lot of times where families become very disjointed in everything, because of, a lot of times I think it's the partner. I really do. That's like my worst fear with my kids marrying somebody, because I really think that it's a huge red flag and super, super unhealthy to have your spouse choose between their parent, you know, what family versus, like, the immediate family versus you. Like, I think just don't see them that much. I don't know. I'm just very different. I just am very much a family first type person. And if Travis was saying you shouldn't talk to your sister or your mom or whatever, he would not be the person for me. I'll tell you that right now. Never. Yeah. And he would feel the same way. Like, if I was ever like, you can't talk to people, like certain people in your family, like, there's no way he would be like, okay, you know, like, it's just crazy. And also, why put it out there publicly? It's just weird. Like, nobody needs to know this. Nobody, absolutely nobody.
No, and I can promise you, my docile little flower Stephanie Hollman over here, if Chancellor Cruz met a girl that tried to take them away, she would cut a bitch so quick.
Oh, yes.
Like, so, yes. Wouldn't think twice about it.
Blue Gatorade. Blue Gatorade. Antifreeze in her. I'd go to jail gladly. I'd be like, nope.
Okay, so I want to dissect this piece by piece because, well, one, I think the initial reaction by the public is, hey, this is none of our business. Like, this just sounds like regular family drama that we should not be a part of. Here's the real truth behind this. This is not, I think what's actually happening here is we have two very big personalities. You have two very big families. So Nicola Pelt's family, worth billions and billions of dollars. Then you have the Beckhams, who have the press, have the money, have the fame. Victoria and Nicola are obviously both very used to getting their way, and neither one is going to budge on what they want here. I don't think that Victoria Beckham, anything I've ever heard about her has been absolutely lovely. I don't think that she is out here trying to ruin her son's wedding or control her son's life. They got a lot going on. I think what's happening is you have two people who are not making any headway with each other. So instead, if I can't win a fight with you, I'm going to win in the court of public opinion. And that's why he posted this. And I guarantee you will not see Victoria or David post a thing. No. They will stay quiet because they have played this game for far too long to know how this goes. Also, it just kind of rubs me wrong that I get, you're having issues with your family. You were kind of forced into the public eye, blah, blah, blah. This is an empire that your family built brick by brick, that has put food on your table, that paid for your wedding, that has covered your hot sauce line launch, and you are over here trying to dismantle it? Shut the fuck up. Like, what in the world?
What was that thing in the beginning? Like, I don't understand his name. Like, they wanted him to sign over the rights of what? Of his name or something?
To sign over the right. Yeah, that part didn't make sense.
I don't understand.
Do you know, he took her last name.
Oh, really? That's kind of weird.
He's Brooklyn Beckham.
Oh, well, he took both names.
Yes.
Okay. That's not too bad then.
But I was like, oh, just a little odd. That's just my initial interpretation. So I want to go through this page by page, because this was a very highly covered wedding when it happened. Like, Vogue covered the whole thing, as they do most billionaires' weddings. So let's just go through. So he blah, 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 he's been in the press his whole life, blah, blah, blah. We get that. They've endlessly tried to ruin his relationship since before the wedding, and it hasn't stopped. My mom canceled making Nicola's dress in the 11th hour, despite how excited she was to wear her dress. False. Vogue covered that Nicola was working with Valentino for a whole year to make this dress. So do I think there was a second dress that Victoria was making? Probably. But also, according to Victoria Beckham's, corporate people, couture dresses are not their thing. You have a lot of Victoria Beckham dresses. It's not, I couldn't see that being turned into a wedding dress.
Victoria Beckham dresses, in my opinion, are more like really cool, like work. I would say more like work attire. It's like very clean. I would say more like corporate chic, or just nothing you would like go to party in, but it's like very, very clean, chic. But I would not want to get married in any of those dresses. I think those dresses would be darling on like leaving to go to your honeymoon. I don't even know if I'd wear those dresses on a honeymoon because they're just not very sexy.
So, but let's pause there, because he didn't say that Victoria was making her wedding dress. He said he was making Victoria was making her a dress.
Yeah.
So I think there were multiple dresses at this wedding. There were multiple parties for this wedding. I think there were multiple dresses. Maybe one of those dresses didn't pan out, but it was not the dress.
Yeah.
And she wore Valentino the entire time. So that doesn't really check out.
Okay, we're going to hold it right there, Trey, and we'll be back after a quick break.
All right, we're back with more tea. So, all right, let's keep going through this. So during the wedding planning, my mom went as far as to call me evil because Nicola and I chose to include our nanny at our table instead of them. So this is very interesting. There are active lawsuits right now, a handful of active lawsuits that Nicola has served to multiple wedding planners that she fired during this process. Also been doing my research. And we'll get to the dog thing later on. So she is suing a dog company. You know, like the dog people that they bring their van to your house and wash your dog.
Oh my gosh, I have them come every 3 weeks.
Well,
yes.
Nicola thinks that they are serial killers. And she had a 12 or 14-year-old Chihuahua that got a bath and died a few days later from a heart attack. And she thinks that these people that bathed her dog gave her dog something and killed it.
Okay, she's the problem. I don't even need to hear anymore. She's the problem.
Right. So she's suing a lot of people, including wedding planners. Could I see David and Victoria saying you're evil? I mean, wedding planners, I feel can take a lot. They really go through the ringer.
Yes, I would say.
So if you fired multiple, that's something. Let's see. Night before the wedding, members of my family told me that Nicola was not blood and not family. Let's be honest, that was one of your brothers. One of your brothers was mad and said something out of pocket, and you just held on to it.
But also,
and you're blaming the whole family.
If my kids had their, nanny or whatever, but if they did not have myself and my husband at their table and they chose somebody else, that would break my heart. I would be, that would really make me sad. Yes, 100%. So I, as a mom, I can see that would be heartbreaking.
He then goes on to say, even my brothers were sent to attack me on social media before they ultimately blocked me out of nowhere this last summer. I very much remember this story being a thing in the moment. So Cruz Beckham was dating a girl that I think like went on one date with Brooklyn like in high school forever ago. And that really bothered Brooklyn and Nicola. And this story has been in the press for a while. And Brooklyn and Nicola refused to go around if this girl was there. And so they're also mad that Victoria has allowed this girl. They're saying that she has invited people from his past into their lives to make them uncomfortable and try to ruin their relationship. Well, what's she to do? Like, if you went on one date with one girl 10 years ago and now your other son is dating this girl pretty seriously, what are you going to do? Like, hey, get over it. You got a wife. Like, why are you that insecure about a date that you had 10 years ago?
Yeah, I just feel like they're two spoiled brats who aren't getting their way.
Very much so.
That is, I don't even know these people, so I could be totally wrong. But if I'm just first,
So this is the part that's like all over social media. It's all the memes, and it really just makes me happy. So then he goes on to say, my mom hijacked my first dance with my wife, which had been planned weeks in advance, to a romantic love song. In front of our 500 wedding guests, Mark Anthony called me to the stage, where in the schedule it was planned to be my romantic dance with my wife, but instead my mom was standing there waiting to dance with me. So this was not the first dance. This Mark Anthony was scheduled, and again, because Vogue covered this whole wedding, Mark Anthony was the after party. This was party number 3. He didn't go on until 11 p.m. So I think Mark calling up Victoria, that was Mark had a few margaritas.
Yeah,
That's not Victoria's
take
problem.
That up with Mark. We need to hear from Mark Anthony.
But this also was not your first dance. And then him implying that it was some sort of like inappropriate, like she was grinding on him.
Have you ever seen her dance with She barely moves.
She puts
dances
in
like me.
Minimal effort.
Like she's totally me.
Yeah. So since then, Cruz Beckham has posted videos of him dancing with his mom just to like be petty. And it's, I just think that part, I think among everything would bother me the most. If you're trying to paint your mom as being inappropriate or predatory, that's very weird to me. I don't get that. But so here's who else has entered this chat. Justin Anderson.
Oh, I love Justin Anderson.
Well, Justin Anderson does not love Nicola Peltz. In fact, he came out and said that she is the worst celebrity he has ever worked with, and his interactions with her were so bad that he does not feel bad saying that at all.
Okay, well then I'm sorry. I feel like he is a good judge of character. I love Justin Anderson. Completely love him. And we've met him and he's just like truly a wonderful person.
Wonderful person.
So that, yes. So
that right there tells me all I need to know.
Yes, I would agree. Anybody else say anything, or is everybody, what did Vogue say? You said they spoke out.
Well, Vogue is just like, we covered it and here's what we saw.
Yes. Okay.
I think what everyone wants to see is the footage of Victoria dancing with Brooklyn, which I don't think Brooklyn or Nicola will ever release, and I'm sure Victoria doesn't have it. But I doubt it's anything inappropriate. But also, this was at 11 p.m. This was not your first dance. Your mother-in-law did not take your first dance away from you. Everyone had been drinking at that point. I think at a wedding after 9 o'clock, probably no one really remembers what goes on.
Yes.
So trying to say that she was inappropriately dancing, I don't see that.
No, there was a time when Travis and I got married. I looked at him and I thought, you got to stop drinking because we have to seal the deal. Like, this is bad luck if we don't, do the devil's tango tonight. But yeah, I mean, it's a party. And I think we were out of there by midnight. So they really partied. And then we went to the club.
Okay, we're going to pause right there, but we will be right back. Okay, I want to wrap up this conversation and figure out, just after hearing all this now, Stephanie, what are your thoughts?
The same as it was in the very beginning. I think
Nicola's the problem.
I think his wife's the problem, and he's the problem. I think his wife she's a billionaire kid, right? I think she's probably very entitled, and I'm not saying you have to love who you marry in. I mean, I get like some people are like, oh my gosh, I married into complete chaos. I get that. But you also chose that person knowing what you're getting into. And I think maybe I'm a little different than most people, but I just think you can minimize the time you spend with people that you don't enjoy. But I don't ever really agree unless there's like something really crazy going on that you should just cut off, like have your partner just cut off a relationship I don't think it was his decision as much as he's getting pressure from her. And also, it's probably like this sick thing. I think the people that I know who have cut off relationships with their families, usually it's because of the partner they're with. Honestly, they had a decent relationship, a good relationship, and then the partner comes in and it's absolute chaos for the whole family. And usually it's a partner making them choose. Mm-hmm. And usually they're bonding over that, which is really sick. Like they're bonding over their, shared enemy, which is the family. It's just really sick and twisted and gross and makes me sad. It really does.
And that's what happened with David's 50th birthday. So Brooklyn said that they took the time out of their busy schedules to travel to London for his dad's 50th birthday. And they sat in a hotel room for a week waiting to see him because they were making demands to see him outside of his party. Victoria and David are like, no, we planned this big party. We'll see you at the party. Come to our party. And they're both refusing to go. They want to have their own celebration separate from this party with cameras and hundreds of people, like your wedding.
Well, maybe because it doesn't fit the narrative of that they are horrible people, right?
So David said he would see Brooklyn, but not with her.
Yeah.
So all signs point to Nicola's not looking great. I think that Brooklyn is, one, brainwashed, but two, a little fucked in the head. Because if you posted all this thinking that this was going to go over well for you, oh boy. I also think that Nicola had him post this.
It's just very I just think we should not be. I love messiness, but this is something like that we probably should not be.
No, we live in a world that is like, we love the entertainment and the drama, but this just feels a little too like, ooh, y'all should handle this within the family group chat, not on TMZ. But also let's just like even think about this side of things. So her family is very wealthy, but they kind of like, she's been in movies, but they kind of like bought her way into movies, into being an actress. So I think being famous has always been a priority for her in some way, shape, or form. For Brooklyn, he was born into it. It's not something he's after. So him publicly airing this, it would make more sense if this was coming from Nicola's camp than it was from Victoria and David's. Because Nicola wants to be in the press. The last thing David and Victoria want is more of their name in the press, especially when it comes to family drama.
Oh no, I would be mortified if my kids were doing this to me. I would be mortified. Yes, in Chance and Cruz, you better never. I'll make sure I really like their wife. That's my big goal. But I'd be mortified. But I think you have two very wealthy, spoiled children who are used to getting their way in life, especially her. If she's a billionaire, she's probably used to being told yes and that she's correct all the time. And I think this is a big rude awakening because I'm sure they're seeing everything. If you care that much, I'm sure you're seeing everything people are saying. But I'm 100% on the Beckham side, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's just sad.
Yeah. I'm not saying things, but also like get therapy, work as a family, figure it out, or just silently. But I feel bad. I just can't imagine. I've talked to Travis about that before. I just can't imagine not having my kids, a relationship with my children. That would be like the worst form of hell for me ever. Like I'm already really struggling with the fact that Chance is going to be going in 2 years and I'm not going to see him every day. I cannot imagine. I truly can't. So really, yeah. But yeah, that's my opinion. There you go. You'll see. You'll be like, oh, I will kill you.
Oh yeah. No, fully.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, on that note, thank you guys so much for listening and supporting. You can follow me at Steph Hollman on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
You can follow me at Trey_Stewart. You can follow our podcast, BS the Podcast, and you can watch us on YouTube at Weekly Dose of BS. Bye.
Yay Media Group.